Brian here at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this car here. This is a brand new Honda, and this is a HRV. This is the ES model, and it's also automatic. In this video, we're going to have a look around the features on the outside of this car, and we're going to have a drive in the car, and we're going to look at the features on the inside as well. And if there's any information you want on this car, please do not hesitate to give me a shout. 086 843 1945. Brian is my name. And we are Fitzpatrick's Garage, a family-run business in operation for almost 70 years. So this video is going to be useful for somebody that is looking for a nice automatic car that's high off the ground, but it's not too big. And this particular HRV, you're going to find this video useful if you want to know what the ES specification has, if you buy a car even like this in Ireland. And if you're watching on YouTube and you think the video is useful, please do like and subscribe, because it lets me know the video is useful. And if there's any information that I failed to cover, let me know, because I'll do it in another video for you. So, engine in the car, 1.5 non-turbo, nice, straightforward, super reliable engine, and this car is 130 brake horsepower. Road tax for the year is €280 in Ireland, and one thing I found over the years is the CVT gearbox in these cars is really super efficient. And that allows a car like this to average somewhere in the region of about 6 to 6.5 litres per 100 kilometres, which is about 40 to 45 miles per gallon if you're a bit old school like myself. Colour choices obviously are available in the car. This particular one is a nice colour. I like this, and I always try and keep it in stock because it's what's called polished metal, and pretty much most people like it. Features wise on the front of the car then, the first thing you'll always notice is this solid wing face on the front, which is that big chrome grille. And as an ES model then, parking sensors are going to be standard on the front of the car. But what I really like is these LED headlights. These always weren't available on the ES, so you had to go to the really high spec, another $4,000 up into the executive one to get it, but now they have it. Really nice. These are LED headlamps. I like LED headlamps. They're kind of classy and upmarket. You always associate them with high spec cars. So as you can see, there's daytime running lights which are LED, there's dipped headlights which are LED, the full lights are LED, and even the indicators are LED as well. So it makes the front end of the car nice and distinctive looking. Looking down the side of the car then, everything's colour coded, like things like wing mirrors and also bumpers. If you look at the rear door over here, you'll see the way it is actually, the handle is hidden, so it gives it that kind of sporty kind of coupe style look. The wheels are a 17-inch wheel, and they're also diamond cut as well. So what I mean by that is when you walk up to them, they're nice and shiny and reflective, so they look cool on really sunny days or under artificial light as well. And these little black sections are really handy for hiding brake dust as well. And I like the way when you look at the front of the car, you have a piece of chrome up here which matches a chrome door handle over here. You got black up in the window because they're privacy windows in the rear, which match things like the black on the wheels, which have a polished edge, which again matches the chrome that we talked about already. All these things, they come together really nicely. And privacy glass, I've really found lately, they're so handy when you have young kids in the back of the car to keep the sun out of their eyes. Down the side of the car, there are steel bars for side impact protection all the way down the side of the doors along through here. And when we move around to the rear, you'll see there's nice LED tail lights as well. And because it is an ES model then, we've got parking sensors along the rear of the car, and I just like the way this is a nice chrome exhaust silencer on the rear, nice and sporty looking. Keeping along the theme of chrome as well, along the boot lid, there's a small little bit of chrome along through here which matches the badge as well. So there's little chrome accents all the way around the car, not too much, not too obvious, but it does finish off the car nicely. In my opinion, most people that are going to buy a car like this, they're looking for something that's a little bit higher off the ground, but they don't want something big and bulky like a large SUV. So let's actually have a look to see how this car drives on the road. When you sit into this car then, this is the view that you're going to see in front of you. So first of all, the clocks over here, they're nice and big and bright, and I like analog clocks. The trip information, which you can change using the buttons down through here, is going to give you information like average speed, fuel efficiency, any kind of warning lamps that are illuminated on the car because of various issues, if there are any, usually just things like tyre pressure and stuff like that. These have been extremely reliable. And over here as well, this is dead handy because it also tells you what the current speed zone is that you are in at the moment. For driving, obviously you're going to want to adjust the seat, so you can let it forward and back, and obviously there's a height adjuster as well, and even things like this here as well. These adjust so you can have anti-whiplash, which stops your head going backwards in an accident if someone rear ends you, but for a little bit more comfort, you can let them back a little bit further. And before you go driving, it's always useful to set the steering, so up and down, and also in and out as well, so overall you can get a very good driving position, and it's nice because I feel like you're high off the ground. To give you an idea, so when you're sitting in the car, you have this nice high driving position, and if you look at this Honda Civic, it is a lot lower, so we are looking down at the Honda Civic because we are in a car that's higher. Once you're comfortable in the car then, you're going to use this gear stick over here, which has a number of settings, so park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then a more sporty mode as well. And the other thing you can do as well is if you want more aggressive even driving, you can move up and down through simulated gears using these paddles as well, so it's much more engaging when you're driving. Before we go for a drive, why would you want to do that? Most people are going to get into this car, they're going to select D down through there, and they're going to leave the car do its own thing. I'm an idiot, and I'm sure there's other people like that as well, so they might go into S for a more aggressive gear changing pattern, and then they'll use the paddles just to feel like they're engaging with the car. It's driving pleasure, that's all it is, just to enjoy it. The car is a continuously variable transmission, so it gives you the optimal revolutions rather than going up and down through gears, but when you use the paddles it kind of simulates gears. We'll have a look when we go for a drive. And when you're using the paddle, there's also a change in the display where it's telling you what simulated gear you're in, so it's from 1 to 7. Before we head off, just so you're aware, your wipers are going to be over here, but if I leave them on the intermittent setting, they become fully automated themselves. And then the lights over here, I'm going to leave them in an automatic position, which means then they come on for daytime and nighttime, and when you meet traffic, they'll also dip themselves. Let's go for a spin down the road and we'll see what the car's like. It's nice as an automatic because it's going to be comfortable, but as you see, a lot of people wonder sometimes about how these gearboxes work, so I'm just going to show you as we're driving. If I had to make one complaint about these cars, it is absolutely impossible to wedge a camera phone into the headrest in any way possible, whatever way it's shaped. But let's face it, most people do not care about that. So at the moment, I'm going to leave it sitting in D. And with D then, it's nice and comfortable, so you're just going to cruise on up the road. So as we were saying, this is a CVT, continuously variable transmission gearbox. So what it essentially means, yes, you don't have to change gears, but unlike a normal automatic, this one doesn't actually go up and down through gears per se. It actually just selects even the correct engine revolution that the car needs. And the great thing about that is when you're cruising, you can see we're doing 50 kilometers an hour and the car is taking over really, really low. And the same idea continues when you're on a motorway or doing any kind of speed. The objective is you put your foot down, it gives you maximum engine revolutions when you want to pick up speed, but once you don't and you want to cruise, it's going to take over as low as it possibly can, and that's what makes these really, really efficient. When the time comes though, if you want to accelerate quickly, once you floor the car, it's going to go to maximum engine revolutions where the power is. But once you're at the speed that you want to cruise at, then you can see the engine revolutions are gone really, really low again. The car's also got an S mode, so when we go to S, you can see that the engine revolutions have picked up a bit, and that just means that the car is just a little bit more responsive when you put your foot down. And like what we said a while ago as well, you've also got paddles in through here as well, so if you want to change up and down through the gears, you can manually override what the car will do. To be fair, the car is going to be more intelligent in terms of fuel usage, but this is just if you want to engage your driving more and make it more enjoyable. So we've had a look around the outside of this car and we've had a drive in the car as well. So the next thing is there's some really versatile features on these cars that people love on the inside. Practicality wise then, let's start in the boot of the car. So there is lots of storage down underneath if you want to hide stuff, and even at that then this boot is very similar to the size of Nissan Qashqai, and actually Qashqai is in a slightly bigger segment, but it's actually a really, really big boot overall. And for anyone that's actually had a HRV before, some people didn't like the fact that there wasn't a solid parcel shelf. It's now solid. But like we were saying, there's unbelievable versatility, so when you drop that down you end up with a load area that's basically as big as a small light commercial vehicle. There's a little light in here to light up the boot, and on the other side then we also have a power outlet in through here as well, 12 volt power. In terms of size in the back of these cars, like I was saying to you already, lots of people like these cars because they're not too big, but they're still high off the ground and they're still SUV. But look at that, I've just been driving this car, right? Sitting behind myself at 6 foot. That is one of the largest amount of leg rooms I have had in an SUV. Like we sell the Tucson, which is a super popular car, but there's actually not as much leg room. There is a stupid amount of leg room in these cars. So for people with young kids, with baby seats, or just generally if you want to have adults comfortable in the back of the car. They are narrow, so if you had 3 people across the back in terms of adults, I do think it's a bit of a squeeze, but lengthwise there is such comfort for 4 people. Sitting in the back of the car then, you're going to have head restraints, which are 3 of them across. There's an armrest in through here. You'll also have Isofix over here, Isofix underneath my bum here, and then after that you'll have 3-point safety belts as well. But like you're saying, don't take my word for it, there is just a really, really good amount of legroom in these cars. So it's a small car, but yet it's actually big. Down here, little speakers with chrome surrounds, electrics for windows, child locks obviously, and nice chrome door handles. Up front then, there is electrics for windows and for mirrors. There is again the same kind of chrome surround around the speakers, and in through there then, apologies, that's just my feet, we're after getting a little bit dirty, but it is covered by plastic, so it will be nice and clean when we take it off. Getting to the front of the car then, there's nice contoured seats with good peripheral support either side. Driver's seat is height adjustable, steering wheel is rake reach as we saw already, and then when you're inside the car, usual things over here, electrics for windows and mirrors. We've already seen the view, but when we look over here, we have an economy function which reduces how aggressive the cruise control is, and the air conditioner and the throttle response midway. There's a lane change warning which warns us if we drift out of lane. There's parking sensors front and rear, which also link nicely to the camera. And like we were saying then, the parking sensors will activate when you're going backwards or forwards. So if you drive towards this GLB. It's going to tell us over here we got a problem in the front left, and it's telling us in here we got a problem in the front left as well. Controls in the steering wheel then are cruise control with a speed limiter. In through here we saw a trip computer, and one thing we were talking about was the car will tell you the current speed zone that you're in. Which means when you're driving, if you want to say, I want to limit my speed, I can limit my speed to 50 kilometers an hour. But the thing about this is you can limit it to the speed sign. So when the car sees a speed sign, it's going to warn you then if you've gone, say, from 100 down into like a 50 zone or something like that, if you're exceeding the speed, and it's going to cut power as well. So it could be really, really useful for trying to keep you in the speed zones. Down through here we saw already, that's how we toggle for information in through here, which is average speed and fuel efficiency and all that kind of stuff. And then off to the left we're going to have Bluetooth over through here. These are volume controls for radio and CD player over through here. Honda Connect unit then is going to have navigation in through there. It's also going to have reverse camera, which we saw already, usual phone information, it's touch and swipe, and it is Android, but you know, obviously it works on Apple and all that kind of stuff as well. But there's even things like an internet browser, calendar, clock, all that kind of stuff if you want. So it's really, really cool. The heating controls then are dual zone, so it just means we got temperature for our passenger on the left, temperature for the driver on the right. Usual stuff like front and rear windscreen demisters, and the rear windscreen demister also demists the wing mirror. And actually one thing I'm after thinking of is when you go for reverse in one of these cars, the wing mirror drops on the left hand side. See that? So if I go into park, it comes up. If I go into reverse, it drops down. And all it's doing is basically, it's actually down at its lowest there, so that's why it's clicked. The reason it's like that is because obviously you can throw your head out this window here if you want to see the curb, but you can't do it on that side as well. So it's just so if you're reversing around a low curb or something like that. In through the centre then, you will have a automatic park brake. It's nice piano black finish all the way up through there. And over through here then, you will have things like USB connectors, HDMI there as well if you want to play video on screen, second USB connector, and 12 volt power once more. Into the centre here then, we will have an armrest which is adjustable backwards and forwards, and there's also a drinks holder, and the drinks holders are really deep in these. If you have a big drink, you can have 2 levels, so it actually is really useful with a big drink. So there you have it, folks. That is a brand new Honda HRV ES model, and this is the CVT automatic version as well. If you want information on a really nice car like this, do call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits, 086 843 1945. Brian is my name. Or if you're watching on YouTube, please do like and subscribe because it lets me know the video is useful. And if I've missed anything on the video that you'd like me to cover, just let me know in the comment section below. No matter what it is, I'll do my best. So hopefully this car is of interest. Thanks for taking time to watch, and we look forward to talking to you soon.